So between the last video and now, something else also occurred to me. I have, or I had slightly more, but I have a whole bunch of free XP for some reason. Now I did convert a bunch of XP to free XP, but I also then spent all of that free XP. As far as I was aware, I spent all of that free XP anyway, but getting up the destroyer line, because this was prior to the destroyers being slightly buffed on the Japanese line. I think they were slightly buffed. I don't remember. Oh yeah, they were, because the fire rate on stuff was increased. So instead of being 0.6, it's 0.8 right now, but either way the minikaze is still better. But I have a bunch of free XP still, which I'm pretty sure I spent all of it, but either way, I feel like playing a lot of different destroyers today, so we're going to play some different destroyers today. This is the tier 6, comes right after the minikaze. It's the Mitsuki. It has, by default, awful torpedoes. Let me show you the stock torpedoes. So, I believe it's about the same damage. Let me actually check so I don't confuse anyone. 1440, 14.6, yeah, it's basically the same damage. However, it's 6 kilometers instead of 10 kilometers, and it's also 0.8 rounds per minute instead of like the 1.2, 1.3 that the minikaze has. So by default, it's really bad. The torpedo speed's pretty good, I'll give it that much, but whatever. But I have spent some free XP to upgrade to the 10 kilometer torpedoes, 0.8, much bigger damage. These are triple mount torpedoes. We have two triple mounts, I guess, two triple mounts for torpedo launchers here. We don't have the upgraded guns. I'm probably not going to get the upgraded guns, but if I like the boat, I might just have every destroyer in the game and just get them upgraded. One important thing is this is not upgraded at all because I have no money, because I just bought like 4 different ships before starting the new recording dealio with this game, but I don't have any money, so this isn't upgraded, so whatever. We're just going to go ahead and head into battle here and see how she goes. Hopefully she goes alright. So I don't need to change my torpedo strategy all that much. These are triple mounts, so the torpedo spread will be a little bit more favorable to me, but I do only have 2 instead of 3. I'll have to account for that. We have a Hugh to 2 independences. We also have an extra battleship in the... Do we have an extra battleship? They have 3. Yeah, we have an extra tier 8 battleship, don't we? Yeah, we have a Colorado. Interesting, but either way, this is our boat. This thing has much better anti-air, as you can see. There's quite a bit of it around. Much better anti-air than the previous boat, otherwise known as the minikaze. So we can actually take advantage of that. It does, however, only have 2 guns. So, it's kind of irrelevant, but, you know, if you like guns, I guess that is something to bear in mind. It has 2 of them. We've got 40 seconds left on this reload. I might hang around over here and just fire some blind torpedoes down this way, depending on what the reload's looking like. Let's make a bit of a wiggle here. Give our reload a little bit more time. I don't like slowing down in anything, much less a destroyer. But if I need to slow down in order to get a reload off on torpedoes before going around a corner, I will obviously do that. Looks like we should be... Looks like, yeah, we should be alright now. I might fire a small spread. I might just fire 2 small spreads down here, because the big spread's way too much. Let's do that. We'll fire a small spread there, and a small spread there, and then we're just gonna leave. Wait for our reload timer. Is he a... Yeah, he's a destroyer as well. Is that him? Yeah, it is. Alright. Gotta know my surroundings. My reload is much longer now, so we do have to take that into account when being overly aggressive. We need to pick our targets a little bit more properly, I guess, when firing torpedoes. 2 fighters and a dive bomber, 3 fighters and a dive bomber. And it looks like our carrier has gone full offense and has no fighters at all. There's another dive bomber, another torpedo bomber as well. I'm probably not going to hit anything with those torpedoes, but it might freak people out. So in the meantime, we're going to head this direction. I'm actually just going to go across the back here until something happens. For now. I need to get some sort of, visual on where the enemy is most. It looks like there's probably nobody even in the alley on the right side. It also looks like someone's about to get wrecked by a whole lot of bombers. And it looks like those fighters either can't catch up or they were too late on being told to catch up. Either way, that's some serious offensive power that's going back there to somebody. It might be to a carrier, I don't know. Can't make out the icon now because there's too much crap over there, but whatever. It looks like most of the enemy team, there is a destroyer on the east side. Most of the enemy team's going west over here, so we're going to kind of hang around, not necessarily the middle of the map, but you can look at my mini-map and see where my line is and figure out about where I'm going. So Cobalt Wolf got first blood. Who was that? That is a Cleveland. Who then immediately got murdered by that guy, it seems like. If you see Devastating Strike, it's usually a destroyer. It can be a full salvo from like a battleship or something like that, I think, but it's basically just huge damage output in a very short period of time. The freaking bombers on that plane are crazy fast. Look at how fast this thing's going. I approve of the speed of the bombers on that thing. Looks like most of the action may have already happened over here where the cap point would normally be. It looks like it's mostly just battleships back in that direction over there. Which I can try and harass. Problem is they're going to be going around that island soon, so... What is that? That's a New York. There be a New York. I could drop some smoke for this battleship. I don't think that's going to help very much, but... One thing I didn't mention, I may not have mentioned it actually, is the sound effects were modified for a lot, if not all of the ships, so... It's more clappy, or more snappy, or whatever. You kind of get what I'm on about here, but more oomph to the initial hit on the guns firing. Maybe he'll shoot again and we can hear it. Someone shot. Yeah, there you go. More clappy, less echoey, which is nice because it makes it sound better overall. Now the question is, where are these enemy battleships going and what can I do with this information? Let's maneuver around this guy, looks like he's turning. Maybe he was just slightly adjusting to get a firing angle. It looks like these battleships are going through this gap here. Which, if you're curious, is generally not a recommended idea. Especially for a battleship to go through there. Be careful about this other destroyer. Hopefully he sees me coming. Because I'm launching torpedoes. Hopefully he doesn't go in front of me. It looks like I can do it in time. Hello, he knows I'm here. I'm well within visual range of the planes and the battleships over there. Let's see. Let's swoop around this island while we reload, I guess. What are my torpedoes looking like over here? 1 hit, 2 hits, and flooding. He's probably gonna repair that. That guy, oh, we killed him with the flooding. That guy, however, opted to get out of there, which is probably a generally good idea, but also means he's going this way. And we've still got time on our torpedoes here, so we gotta be real careful. Those planes are still spotting me. I know that's why he's flying them over here. In fact, one of my guns just shot him. I know that's why he's over here. He's spotting for that battleship. So let's get out of here. Let's actually pop smoke. There's a battleship behind me. And he is marginally upset at me. Reasonably so. He might die before these torpedoes are actually useful, but... which way is he turning? Probably away? Probably away. We'll drop torpedoes there. Those might not even hit. Actually, he's turning into me. Sorry, I was reading that wrong. Those torpedoes might not hit, but we're going to fire those and move off back towards the enemy base, I guess. Actually, we need to go back to our base. I need to pay more attention to what's going on in the battle here. What's my torpedoes looking like? Maybe one hit. He might be able to squeeze through the middle of some. Looks like he's... no, we got one hit. And flooding. And he might be dead. I think he's just straight up dead, yeah. Do we need to go back to our base? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. Which way is that guy going? Yep. It's the way I thought he was going. Oop, hello. He appears to also be upset at me, which... not too fond of that. Did we lose our destroyer? I think we did. I think he lost visual on me. He must have, because there's nothing near me. I think we're going to end up going back to base here. We've got a cruiser against... something. I was turning and didn't realize it, sorry. Well, the cruiser and the aircraft carrier, obviously he's trying to provide some support over there. Against a destroyer and a cruiser, it looks like. The only battleship they have is back in their base. I don't know where their carriers are, but if I was a carrier on the enemy team, I would be on the bottom right corner of the map. Or maybe pushing up this alleyway here. Yeah, we lost that cruiser, so I'd start pushing north, because it, you know, it's not looking good for our team, but still. Let's get our torpedoes set to... yeah, they're wide, alright. I was just making sure they were set to wide. So there's a destroyer over here. It's probably... it might be the Sims. I don't actually know what destroyer is over here. Nope, their carriers are over there. We might lose the carriers. And a cruiser of unknown description. However, the Omaha and the Pensacola can both easily kill me. It is a Pensacola, a mostly dead Pensacola, to be fair. He's way out of my range, though. We're going to blind fire some torpedoes in that general direction. He hasn't spotted me yet, I don't think. We are, however, going to have to get in there, so... and we're going to have to get in there basically now. And it is a Sims, which is easily capable of dealing with me. Especially since I only have 2 guns and am capable of maneuvering whilst firing said guns, so... we're going to go ahead and drop smoke. We're going to continue to wiggle. That'll help a little bit. He's dodging those dive bombers, but I've only got 2 guns. I've got a remarkably low chance of actually hitting him. I could try and kill this Pensacola with my guns. Maybe that'll hit. He's dropped his torpedoes. I figured he would. He shouldn't be able to hit me with them, I'm gonna be honest here. He might, because I'm an idiot, but he shouldn't be able to. There we go. I should deal with the Sims. I don't want to fire torpedoes at him, but I may end up have to do that here. I know those were nowhere near where the targeting indicator was. Don't worry about it. Neither of those were hit. I figured he was going to turn. I'm basically just firing these in the hopes that I'll accidentally hit him at this point. He may end up just saying screw this and going for the carrier, which I'd prefer he not. Ooh, I hit his gun. Also just shot down a plane. Suck it, plane. I also just deflected a shell, which you don't see happen that often on destroyers, but hey. Yeah, he's buggering off. It's just me and the carrier left, so he doesn't need to try too hard probably, so. If I were him, I would say so a bunch, or if I were me, I would say so a bunch as well. There's basically no chance of me hitting this guy, it seems. Oh, come on, that torpedo was so close to actually hitting him. I still haven't managed to hit him at all with my guns, I don't think. Oh no, I did, yeah, we hit him with that crit shot. His guns shoot so much faster than mine. It's ridiculous. Well, we hit him. Oh, he's dead. So I just shot torpedoes at nothing, basically. So we're going to act like those torpedoes don't exist and continue going straight, basically. So let's see, we got a battleship right there, nearly dead New York. An Omaha that's basically at full health. Both coming at the same general direction, but I did just fire my torpedoes. So that carrier's trying, I'll give him credit. He basically just suicided his torpedo bombers to try and get some damage out on that guy. Looks like he's just parked though. I'm sure they know where he is at this point. In fact, he's not going to have very many planes left after not too much longer here. Which is unfortunate because I kind of need him to have planes. I have unlimited torpedoes, but there's only so much I can do with torpedoes here. Especially torpedoes that take this long to reload. He's going that way. No? Have I been spotted? I shouldn't have been spotted. Which way are they going here? Fire one there, and we'll wait for a reload. I am way too close to these guys. And the reason I'm not shooting my guns is because that's going to make me instantly spotted. Because the range they're currently at, if I shoot, they'll spot me, so. Until I absolutely have to shoot, I'm going to continue just firing torpedoes in their general direction. And probably not hitting, but I will continue to try. Just like the carrier is throwing planes out here. He's not hit anything either, so it's not just me that's missing. And they're both going for him. Is he moving? He's moving, yeah. He is fully aware of the problem here. We got 7 minutes left to kill these two. Oh, the destroyer caught him. GG. He got Confederate though, so well done. And I'm dead at this point too, so. There's basically no chance of me hitting this battleship at this angle. I have to go through here to get a good angle on him, and he's gonna spot me right now. And I'm about to be in his secondary gun range too. Yep, his guns are already pointing over here. He knows. He knows. Well, time to repair that, because I'm not doing this without the ability to steer, I can tell you that much.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, I'm in secondary range. Flee! Evasive maneuvers! Oh. I shouldn't have fired quite so soon and tried to wait for those torpedoes to hit, but I didn't, so that carrier did really good. Well done to this guy. He lost a ton of planes, but he did a lot of damage. As opposed to me. Let's try out the other destroyer that I have, the Hatsuharu. Which is slightly upgraded, I think. That's not upgraded at all. Slightly lower rate of fire. I would like this, but considering the base torpedoes are exactly the same as what I was just using, I don't see a reason to spend free XP to get this, especially since it costs so much to put on. Would give me a ton of anti-air mounts, I'll give it that much. So what do we have? We have the fancy newer mounts. We have 2 triple mount torpedoes, and it looks like 2 double and 1 single artillery. Yeah, that's actually a main artillery, interestingly enough. Very small firing range, but that's because I've not upgraded it, and it is a destroyer, so there is that. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's try this out. The Minikaze has my destroyer captain, my good destroyer captain, so none of these other vessels actually have a decent admiral, captain, whatever. Oh, well, this is interesting. It is, we don't even have an aircraft carrier. Great. It is captain for the boat and then admiral for like is it admiral for a fleet and captain for a boat? What's the admiral in control of? Is it a fleet? I'm gonna guess it's a fleet. Either way, this boat has the newer turret mounts on it. As you can see, they are oddly shaped. You'll see all the future destroyers have these as well. I believe that's a rangefinder built onto the turret mount itself. Could be mistaken. But they also have the newer triple mount torpedo looking thingies, which are pretty sweet looking. So that guy's going to sea. That's a Pensacola. There's a lot of Pensacola's in this match. A lot of New Mexicos as well. So the fact that we don't have an aircraft carrier is going to suck, especially if the enemy aircraft carrier has opted for full offense, because it means he's going to be at absolute peak efficiency. Because nothing's going to, apart from cruisers and the anti-air on battleships and destroyers and stuff, just passively killing them, there's nothing going to be intercepting or dealing with his bombers and stuff. Which obviously is bad for us. We got a lot of ships that can relatively easily be attempting, you know, death via bomber here. This is a Japanese destroyer, so it does still have the problem of the turrets being incredibly slow. I will shoot them though. If they're trained on a target and I'm not at risk of being horribly mauled from being spotted, I will shoot them at stuff because I now have 5 shells to shoot instead of 2. Generally a decent increase in your damage output if you're actually firing your guns as well as your torpedoes if you're not at risk of being killed from shooting them, so I try to do it if I can. Which isn't very often. I want the new hull. I want to see what that looks like because it's got a ton of new anti-air on it. I wonder where it would put them. Enemies capturing sea. They do have 3 destroyers, but 2 of them are tier 5 with terrible turrets, so not overly worried about it. We have, however, been spotted, so we're probably about to be shot at here. Probably about to be shot at fairly soon, actually. I'm gonna drop both of my torpedoes there. These turrets do actually spin slightly faster than what I'm used to, but yep, there's the volley coming in from a battleship. Or no, that's a cruiser, actually. It's unlikely that they'll hit me if I'm doing circles, I'm gonna be honest. All you have to do is do a circle, and it's fairly unlikely they'll hit you. I should have been pointing the guns this way. What is he doing? Going straight into him. Alright.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
He's not gonna get hit by him, but, you know. It may have done something useful for our team. Who knows? He just sent the fighters straight across the map into the back of our spawn for some reason. New Mexico sounds cool at range. Also some interesting music going on here. I like the music in Warships, I'm not gonna lie. It's different, but I like it. What is my gun shooting at? Shooting at something. Someone's guns were shooting at something. I heard machine guns going off. Like, this is a weird song. You can't really deny that. You don't really expect this kind of song to be in this kind of game, but I like it. It actually does well. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go harass this battleship cruiser pair over there, or maybe that battleship that's by itself. Cleveland's in trouble, actually. How far away is that? 13? Those are under 10. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff over here that I could potentially harass. I just don't know what to pick. Firing my torpedoes at max range might hit someone if they're not paying attention. However, at that range, they're super easy to dodge, so... I would obviously like to fire them at about 7 kilometers or so to try and get the most out of them, but it's not always possible. Also, someone captured B, so... we're going left. Apparently he had spotted me. Oh, because the freaking planes. Which means he's probably not going to be stupid. He's probably going to be able to dodge these. We're going to drop torpedoes because screw it. Although he has lost visual on me, so I probably could have closed a bit more, but whatever. We'll go with this. Maybe we'll hit him with that tight spread. That would do a ton of damage if it actually hit. It might end up killing him if I actually hit him with that many. Let's position ourselves so we're not going to run into anything real quick. And then do a quick spy on him. See if any hit. They might. Nah. Close, but it's always close, so. This is a terrible place to be, but also there's stuff real close to me. I wish I hadn't shot my torpedoes now.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
Yeah, I could have fired my torpedoes through there and probably hit quite a few people. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Evasive maneuvers. Fire the guns. You're going that way. I don't know which way this guy's going. We'll fire a torpedo there. And there. Those shouldn't hit him. Oh, this might be a problem though. Whoop. Evasive island parking maneuvers. Thank God there's no freaking shoreline right there for me to clip onto. It's also that battleship that was in the middle going through here. I really probably shouldn't be anywhere remotely where I am, but here we are. We're losing this match horribly. We need to capture C. I also should have tried to capture B instead of fleeing, but I'm scared of battleships. If I go around this corner and fire a torpedo volley, it's probably going to kill something, and it's probably going to be me. That torpedo volley is going to hit absolutely nothing, though. Looks like he rammed himself into an island. Well done! I need to do something, though. I don't think I've even hit anybody. No, I haven't. I've shot a plane. That's what I've managed to do. Well, we obviously can't go that way. Well, actually, he's dead, so we don't have to worry about him trying to maneuver. So maybe we can go this way. Maybe we can die a horrible death and go to Valhalla or something like that. There's 2 cruisers and 2 battleships, and I'm going to be in secondary range, so this is going to hurt real bad if they start shooting at me. It's going to hurt this dude a whole lot more than it's going to hurt me, though, I can tell you that much. Oh, there goes my engine.
Critical engine damage.
We need to repair that. There's no getting around that.
Enemy battleship sunk. Problem solved, sir.
Ow. Ooh, I'm dead. I knew that was going to happen. All I had to do was get 1 volley off on me. I should have fired that as a tight spread by the look of it here. Looks like that middle one's actually going to hit him. It will, won't it? Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, there we go. At least it hit, but that was looking real bad. Alright, whatever. At least I got to volley that dude stuck on the island. I always like doing that. Anyway, let's call that our 2 batches in the video. Come back and do something else, mayhaps. Mayhaps. Perhaps we'll do a host show. Maybe we'll. I don't know.